Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the CFT Podcast. It's your boy John, and as always, we are here to bring you the latest in football. Now, are we a day late? Yes. Is it my fault? Also, yes, because truthfully, on a Saturday, I tired yesterday earlier, and I couldn't make. But in doing so, I may have thrown off everybody else, and the only person who decided to make time for me is Brandon, who's with me here today. Brandon, what's going on, boy?
I'm good, John. Good night to everybody.
They made the two people who lost this weekend come on the pod alone. So here
This
we
is the
are.
this is the punishment.
This is the punishment. It could be worse. You could have been 1 or 5 men to get a red card this weekend, which is the second most in Premier League history in a single weekend. So that's always good. No, but in terms of housekeeping, is there anything? Um, there is a giveaway to come up later on in the year, closer to mid to end of November. So you guys can look out for that. And we will definitely be having some sort of end of year lime, Christmas lime. So if you are part of the Corner Block community and you would like to be part of that, please message us and you'll get to join the group. And from there, we can organize. So yeah, that's usually it. Without further ado, let me get into the football. Brandon, why did you kick us off, bro? What was... It has some real interesting selections by Chelsea going into the game. You know, obviously it was Richie's first start. Gusto played at left back. Enzo dropped. You know, what was your thoughts going into the game?
Well, going into the game, I was very concerned. I think it was a huge call from Maresca to play Reece in a
Mm-hmm.
game like this. I also think it was a huge call to play Gusto on the left.
All
I don't.
right.
I really was shocked that he didn't play Vega because I thought he was going to start Vega. I thought Enzo wouldn't start because he was coming back from international duty. He
International. Yeah,
hardly ever plays when he comes
that's
back.
right.
Caicedo, I thought would play. I didn't think Lavia would have played too, but because he's now coming back as well. But I mean, otherwise the team pretty much picked itself, and the Tosin one, which I put out there publicly, I was completely wrong about everything I said about Tosin going into this game. I thought he would have been like very calm and composed
Mm.
in this game, but that was exactly the opposite. Him and Colville were terrible. But I also want to give Liverpool a lot of credit. They played really well. I thought their whole midfield was excellent. Curtis Jones had one of the best games of his career. Salah again is just one of the
Yeah, well,
greatest Premier League players we've ever seen.
yeah, honestly.
So I mean, and we can probably get more into it as we go on, but yeah, that's pretty much the general bits of it. They played a perfect game in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I mean, in the notes that you said, man, you said that you think that this might be the best midfield in world football right now. I mean, heading into the game, obviously some comparisons are inevitable, right? Gavin Butch has had a great start of the season. Caicedo also has a good start of the season. It obviously was a player who was a crossroads last year, going to either Chelsea or to Liverpool. The decision he made, we all know. But it shows that like how much Gavin has grown that a lot of Liverpool fans was like, nah, we won't swap him. We won't swap him. And you are looking at probably one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder in world football right now.
Yeah, I think the only thing I look at anything close to this right now is maybe the big two in Spain with Barca
Yeah,
and
Barca.
Real right now. Like those are the only ones that rival in them right now. But I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the Prem as well, like geez man, they're just looking incredible. Like I love Gravenwood, and I always knew it would have been a great move for him. But wow, like he's doing what everybody thought he couldn't do, and he's doing it well. And everything that has been said about Liverpool going into this game, that, they've had an easy run and everything, it just proves that everything that we've been watching has just proved it doesn't matter who they play, that's just who they are. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a huge statement. I think it's a statement win for Liverpool, honestly. That's how I can describe it there.
When the season started, obviously you lost to Man City on the opening day, but since then it has been a lot better, right? And it felt like okay, well, Maresca got a chance to really get his hands on the squad, get them in a rhythm, and now they're ready probably to take on somebody again. Now that the game has come and gone, we know the result. How are you feeling about things on the Maresca right now?
Well, if you look at it, right, we only lost games that I think everybody thought we would lose.
Right.
I think every other game that we've played, we should have at least won or gotten points out of that game, and we have. I think that is probably the best way to describe where the team is at right now. We can beat the rest of teams on a good day when if we play well, but when it comes to the big ones, we're probably not there yet. Maybe like halfway, the second half of the season, we might see something different as the team
Mm-hmm.
gels and he gets more time with the team. But as of right now, it's clear as day to me that we're just not at that level. And the rest of the teams, we can definitely get past them with our quality and our style of play. But otherwise, it will take a lot of time for us to get to that level. So I don't think we're there right now.
Do
On
you
the flip side,
feel?
on the flip
Mhm.
side, Liverpool, that whole team is constructed to be there right now. Like I
Yeah,
saw somebody describing it as Slot came into a fully furnished apartment, and Maresca had to build. He had all the tools, but there's nothing built, and he had to build it for himself. And I think
yeah,
that's a pretty good way to describe it. And it's not like I don't think it's a slight on Slot because he is
yeah.
using what he has to the full extent of what it could be. They are top of the league,
I
you
mean,
know.
at the same time too, like yeah, we have seen players that we rated really highly before go places not do so well. Depending on the manager, the setup, whatever it is. And now with Arne Slot and Liverpool, there are at least four players in that team that I think are unquestionably world class. You know, Allison, who obviously didn't play this weekend, but Allison, Trent, Virgil, and Salah, and they've all been excellent so far this season. And it's easy to say like, oh well, they was going to look great anyway, but they are looking back to that level of being able to walk into any level in the world right now. And I think that is also a credit to Slot because obviously the style is different. And while at the same time, I don't think Liverpool were at their best. They were at their maturity, which was required for this game. I think that they rode out a rough period in the early because I did think Chelsea started the game quite strong, but then now the moment flipped. Obviously, the penalty. Do you have like any contention with that? You think it wasn't a pen? It was a close call.
Well, I only saw an angle today that it hit Jones's hand. So
Oh,
yeah, I didn't see that before. So and my thing is, boy, like that I have no problem with that pen, but the Sancho one is definitely a pen. I don't know how that one wasn't
yeah,
given. Like I really don't know. Like I really actually have no clue how that wasn't given. Like I saw it and I was like, oh well, that's a pen. And VAR didn't check it. I was like, okay, it looked like a pen to me. He stamped on
yeah,
his foot, like and it's a foul.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
it's not even trying to kill him, but it's a foul. So I don't know why he
yeah.
didn't give it. And then whatever. I just thought the game was poorly wrapped as well. I don't know anything, but I know we get
No,
into that later on.
and I mean the irony is right is that you are saying that obviously Trent would have been the one who committed the foul, and in the notes that you on it said, man, one of his 5 points was that Trent was superb defensively. And
Oh
overall, I
yeah,
think that he was.
he
I think he
was.
was.
Mhm.
But it just he was in that moment. The other contentious one was with Tosin. Do you think that the correct call was made or that he get away with
I
one?
really thought it was going to be red. I really thought it
Uh,
was going to be red, but I thought it was a yellow, but I thought it was going to be red. Like I really thought because of what I saw with Saliba, I was like, right,
yeah,
that is literally we getting 2 red cards immediately in those 2 games, and then I saw
yeah.
yellow. I was like, okay, all right, and then I looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, fair, whatever, I guess. But yeah, boy, I didn't. I really I thought it was going to be red, but I was glad it was yellow.
Um, Going forward a little bit now. Um, I know it's not like I'm not contributing anything, yeah, but I mean you kind of saying everything that I would have wanted to say anyway.
Well,
Um,
then you start the next point. Then.
Well, do you think that you expected? I think like in the second half, whether it be by design or by Liverpool allowing you all with it, I think that there were large periods that you all had the ball. Also credit to Jackson. He took his goal extremely well.
Did you
Um,
think he missed?
I actually did it. I
Okay,
mean,
I
like,
thought he
and I
missed.
mean, and I mean, I think it's a credit to the development that he's going through. I mean, I know we talked on this pod before and how people like Pats feel about him, but like, I think that Jackson is a pretty good striker. And while I don't think that he gives you every single thing you might ever want in a world class striker, I still think he's been very serviceable, and I think that he's been improving, and I think that's a credit to him, right? But there were large periods in the second half where like Liverpool let you all have the ball, or you all had it. It really doesn't matter. Are you disappointed with what you all did when you all had the ball? I feel like Madueke and Palmer in particular, you expected more from them when they got on the ball. Obviously, Sancho got hooked for Neto. He got around Trent once, maybe, not really. Did you expect more from them?
I think he tried to match Liverpool, and that's what Maresca was trying to do. And in doing so, we lost a lot of the best part of our players. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
Gusto overlapping Sancho didn't make any sense because he wasn't gonna cross with his left foot, and he's not a good crosser with his left foot, so he had to cut back most of the time or not cross at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reese didn't bomb forward, which is where he's best. He didn't bomb forward at all. He stayed in the back. So I think we lost a lot of of all good players. I think Palmer he really got marked out of the game by Jones, and it's an excellent performance from Curtis Jones. Um, I think and I think Jackson didn't have much to do. I didn't think Sancho had a good game. I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
Madueke had a good second half. So yeah, I think it was a very underwhelming performance from us, if I'm being honest.
Well, the exact quote from Yuan is Curtis Jones is the real deal. Some of us already knew, but some saw today. Goal, penalty, one, nearly two, and a clean performance in midfield. Completely nullified Palmer, kept the ticking, became our father this week, and he showed it by sunning Chelsea today. Um, but
When
yeah,
when when
so
he gets subbed at 65 minutes, when he start the next game, I'll remember
yeah, I know that. I know that.
that.
And I mean, like, I guess the thing with somebody like Palmer too is obviously consistency. Because, like, we know the performances that he is capable of, but it's a case of what we get week in, week out. Um, Obviously, we know Liverpool have a pretty decent run of fixtures coming up now. Um,
Mhm.
with it started off with y'all. Obviously, they play us next. Then they host Brighton, host Villa, go to Southampton in the UR Derby, then they host Man City, go to Newcastle, and go to Everton, and then a next fixture, and then they go to Spurs, right? So it's a hard run amongst obviously UCL and stuff like that, right? I don't think they could have possibly started that run any better than they did, but even in the victory, do you see anything that you feel like other teams should be paying attention to try and exploit a little more
For Liverpool,
when they face Liverpool? Yeah.
boy, and Johnny, I've been saying this from the start. I think every time they are tested, they just prove it. Every
Mm,
time, like people thought, and a lot of Chelsea fans I know thought this, that we were going to get something out of this game, and we were going to, we could have a chance to probably beat them. But to me, this is always a difficult game for us. We only beaten Liverpool twice in the last 20 games against them or something like that. It's a crazy
mm-hmm.
stat or something. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like we don't always win games against Liverpool. It's a good Liverpool team. Um, but for them, I just think they're always proving it. Like Van Dijk is going through what I call the renaissance of the defender. Like every
Yeah.
time a defender gets at this age, he reinvents himself. It could be good, it could be bad, but it's Van Dijk. Van Dijk is one of the best centre backs in the league.
Yeah.
They have Konate. Trent defended his life out. Like they have everything. They have all the tools to be solid defensively and do well in the league. John, they've conceded 3 goals. Technically, if you extrapolate from now, which is obviously it could change in a game's time,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
extrapolate from now, that's about 15 goals. That's
Yeah.
about
They
15,
would match
16 goals.
Chelsea's
Like,
records.
like
Yeah.
that is pretty impressive, I must say. It is really impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, even with the caveat taken into account of playing lesser teams, as we see, like, with Arsenal, they played Leicester, they play Southampton, they have a good defense, and they still manage to concede. So it is a testament to how turned on that they have been. The last thing that Yuan had said was he felt disappointed. It's almost like he feel like he should still be getting a bit more from him despite like overall good performances. Do you also feel that way about him?
Yeah, I think going the other way, I think he's very good. He's been probably better than
Yeah,
last
he's
season.
actually
Going
yeah,
the
he
opposite
has
way,
been.
he's been very good. I think his defensive game has gone up on the slot, and I, I don't know if this is a him thing or a slot thing. I don't know which one it is, but he needs to be. as you said, he really needs to get more output. Like that is
Yeah,
really that was what will take him to the next level. Because I think
yeah,
everybody knows how good he is, but right now
yeah,
we all under the impression that he's not a good final end product player, which
yeah,
I don't think is the case because
yeah.
that's what they
I
bought him
think it,
for.
I think a lot of it is mental too. Like just because like, he goes, he
I know.
stretches without returns, then he like overthinks the final third product. And I mean, like I think like one of the best examples of that is like when we watched the 3-0 versus United, and he tried to take the extra touch when he could have just finished it one time
Mhm.
because he needed to be so sure. And like sometimes we see players go through these peaks and troughs of confidence where when a man feeling it, he can take it one time and that kind of thing. But sometimes they just swallow extra touches to finish it up.
And the
On the
problem,
other,
and the problem for him is that now that Jones had this performance,
yeah,
who does McAllister coming to the team in the next game? Does he get dropped? Because I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
you can drop
yeah,
Jones after the game, right? Jones has to
yeah,
play. So is it
yeah.
your state if you keep McAllister on the bench? I don't know. Is an interesting predicament to have.
On the other hand, Chelsea have to go to Newcastle, then
Yeah,
they host Newcastle, go to
yeah, we host
United,
them.
then host Arsenal, then go away to Leicester, who, to be fair, are better than myself have thought, a lot of people have thought. I know you had them staying up though. Like even when we talked about that possible point
Yeah,
deduction, you had them staying up, and they came
yeah.
from
I told you
2-0
they
down.
would beat the points deduction too.
And it will be it is it is very It will be the points of it. Then you hosted Villa, go to Southampton, and
We
then
have a hard run,
lastly
There's a real
you'll be
hard run at place.
yeah,
Real
it
hard
is
run.
a hard road. Are you I mean, you said like the two teams so far are teams that you expected to be a bit above you. That doesn't mean you can't beat them, but you expect
Yeah.
that Liverpool and City are a level above. Do you think that if this then now persists for when like you well, I don't really want to say United because they obviously having a kind of rough season, but like when you say like play Villa and you play Spurs, then you might be a bit more concerned.
Mm, Boy, the way the run going, we have to do it. So it's
Yeah,
more this one is more circumstantial. I think we're playing well enough though. I don't think I have I know I keep saying this every week, but I'm not worried. Like I don't feel like
I
bad.
would be
I think
derelict
the
in my
first
duties if I didn't ask.
nah, I know, but I just not I, I was worried with the selection and
Yeah,
some of his substitutions, but at the same time, I'm not worried because I see in the and we had an off day attacking wise. So I don't know boy. I don't know if I blinded by something, but I feel like we will do real good this season. I just don't know why. I feel like we're moving in the right direction. It's just it will take time. It's only 8 games so far. Like there's the 8 game he's played of with us. So
yeah, yeah,
it will just take time.
yeah.
Sorry, that's all.
Keeping on the note of selection that confuses people, there was Arsenal that lost to Bournemouth, and going into that game, obviously, Saka and Odegaard being out requires a lot of adjustment. Obviously, we've seen how he has adjusted to Odegaard's absence, but having both Saka and Odegaard missing in a game is the first time since 2022 when we played that Friday night game against Brentford. Like, think of how far back that is. And honestly, going into it, like I was telling somebody today that there's a lot of times where I don't agree with the lineup, but like I see the logic behind the lineup, and I could like be on board with it, even if it wasn't my decision. Well, it's never my decision. If it wasn't my preference. Um, but with this one this weekend, I saw kind of what he wanted to do in the sense that like I think like when you watch the lineup, he put out he preference trying to get like Mikel Marino more up to speed with the selection that he made. And while I get it, all the alterations that went into this weekend, I really didn't agree with. Because when you looked at, the lineup that has been working ever since Odegaard has been missing, whether you want to say that is Kai in midfield or is Leo in midfield, it really doesn't matter. But what I more recognize is that is like a 4-2-4 setup. You have Kai and Leo kind of playing off of each other through the middle. Then you have Nelly on the outside, Saka on the other side. Saka being out Nelly having a knock means that you have to readjust. And while again that does take some adjustment, I think that as for a manager who values relationships and stuff as much, and values familiarity to completely change not just the players that had to change, but even the setup was a step too far. Now, mind you, right before the red card, I think that we did start to come to grips with the game a little bit. We actually started to enter the box a little more still. It had a few dribbles. Trossard had a shot. I think Marino also had one that was blocked as well. So we started to get the grips with the game. But going into it, I really wasn't on board with it. I would have way preferred to maintain the Trossard Kai dynamic and play Jesus out wide, play Sterling on the other side. I keep that dynamic going. Even if you wanted to get Marino up to speed, I'd have quicker drop one out Rice or Partey if you really wanted to do that. Or if not, use the Shakhtar game to do that, right? The other issue I have is that, okay, if you decide that you're going three in the midfield and you take it out somebody from the attacking line, you're moving the league's leader in all creative numbers in Saka because he has a knock, right? We did not do enough, in my opinion, to try and replace both the fact that he is missing and Odegaard is missing. And that is where Enwaneri comes in. And the thing is, he's thrown him in when it's time to play in the Champions League. He's played him in the North London Derby. He has shown bravery to play Lewis Kelly at the Etihad Champions League again. When he was chasing the game against Leicester, he thrown in Enwaneri. And I feel like this was too pragmatic to not go down that route. And unfortunately, what it transpired in the game means that, we don't know if Woodline that he put out would see how the game long enough that, he could have made changes off the bench and something would have happened. We don't know. But it is going into it, those were the two major issues that I had. That was a lot of rambling though. But where would you like to comment on this?
Well, it was kind of confusing. I had no idea why he played Partey, Marino, and Rice. I have no idea why he did that.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised he played Sterling on the right. If I'm being honest, I thought he would have played Sterling on the left and probably played Jesus or something else like that. I don't know, boy. And then so here's my question to you, John, because this is what confused me anymore. Would you have taken off Sterling after the red card?
No way. And that was the third thing that I really didn't like that he did. Because, after the red card happened, and I do have stuff I want to say about that, but, I feel like we were managing the situation well with the players that was on the field, and my thing is we have Rice/Partey who have had experience playing in the back line. We have Havertz who has experience playing in midfield, right? And, so we have these hybrid players in both the forward line and the midfield. And we down a man. So somebody going to have to, or two players got to double up on their work to try and make up the aggregate, right? To me, already had the players on the field, and just leave it 3-3-3. And when you had to defend, let Kai drop deeper, let Rice drop into the back line, and you defend like that. And when you attack, you move up the line like that. But I think he retreated too fast. And compared to, the fact that I have 3 examples to pull up is ridiculous. But the fact that, when it was at the Etihad or when it was Brighton, we had a lead to defend. Fair enough. But we didn't have a goal yet. We still had to get a goal. And I feel like bringing on Kiwior was waving the white flag too early, And I definitely want to take off Sterling because I think that he was the one player who was trying to make things happen, And he started to get on the ball. He started to dribble, had a cross. It had one where he should have shoot, as far as I'm concerned. But he was getting the grips of the game. And while nobody in this team is capable of fully replacing Saka, I think he was doing a decent impression in terms of taking the responsibility to try to take the game to the other team. Now again, red card changed that. But in terms of the way that the manager responded, that was the third major thing that I had an issue with what Arteta did on the day. With the red card, Sally, do you think that in hindsight, seeing what went on with Tosin, that Arsenal fans do have a reason to feel agree that it was overturned from being a yellow to red?
Well, I think we now reach the territory of we not upset about the red card, we upset about the inconsistency. I think it is a red card. I think that's one of the clearest red cards I think you'll see all season. I actually looked at our replay today, and I didn't even realize that Evan Nielsen was in front of Saliba when
Yeah.
Trossard played the ball. I didn't even realize that. So,
Who
like,
you put
that's
more
even
blame on that,
worse.
by the way? Trossard or Saliba?
You want to know who I blame for that, John? You wouldn't even believe who I blame him for that. I blame Calafiori for that.
Okay.
Terrible pass to give Trossard. Terrible
Trossard?
pass. Like, and then Trossard make it worse with
Yeah.
a kick off. And you know what's the other thing, John? You know who I would have taken off? I would have taken off Marino. You
Yeah, I
know,
would have taken off Marino too.
just explain to me this, right? You play the man to give him minutes, right? You're gonna give
Yeah.
him minutes in a game with 10 versus 11.
Yeah.
You find that make any sense?
You could have seen like physically he wasn't up to mark at the
Bro,
day.
and from the first minute he looked like that. Like it's not like
Yeah.
he got tired over the game. From the 20th minute he was huffing, bro.
Yeah.
He was not up to speed at all at all. I would have taken him off. And I find
And to
Arteta
be
makes
fair,
so many terrible decisions, bro. Like
yeah.
taking off QEO after bringing him on. I thought was he took off a winger to bring on QEO, then take off QEO to bring on a winger.
Yeah.
Like
All those things I
what?
totally agree with you now. And I think like there was a cascade set of terrible decisions today that stemmed from the manager. I mean like the thing with Saliba too, right? Is like don't use one of the fastest centre backs in the world. Like I would have backed
Lemgo?
myself to go and then no, like we have all seen that clip of Saliba catching up Mbappe and tackling the ball from behind, like getting the ball like bro, trust yourself, dog. And I do think that part of it probably as a player that he had a rough week with France and that both him and Kanat they face a lot of criticism when he press however and he probably wasn't in the right headspace. But either way, dog, trust yourself. You could get. I would lie. My frustration with it is that like I agree. I think it should have been a red from the straight, right? But my thing is like we hear so much times this year, but it's not like again, we always come back to this inconsistency. Because that's all what they want us to talk about is refereeing inconsistencies, right? Is the high threshold for intervention, And the thing is like with sometimes judgment calls. You know what, dog? I was actually now kind of getting accustomed to this season. You know what? For judgment call things that didn't have criteria to meet and stuff because they talk about distance and whatever else. They don't fair enough. They ain't gonna interfere with everything. But they interfere here. You know? And we had where not last season, season before, we had the same thing with Concept pulling down Saka, right? And it's the most Arsenal fan thing ever for them to for everybody to go and find back what was the referee's comments them days, right? And Dale Johnson, who's doing the column for ESPN, cited all the reasons why that was not a yellow, as was not a red, sorry, as to what Arsenal fans tried to use to justify this one for it to stay a yellow. And now it's turning the whole situation. And at some point, why I just wonder if like we're being gaslit to some extent as to how while no situation in football is ever going to be exactly the same, right? But like we have similar situations and they try to just bend everything to justify every decision that they make. And what can you even say at that point? Because then now us, we try our best to analyze things as objectively as we can. But if this variable is such deviated from its mean, how can you, like, in good faith, analyze football then? Because you have no idea this third entity that is supposed to be this quiet entity that just maintaining the rules that can deviate from itself so much to alter the outcome of a game. Because the thing is now, right? Brian is like almost every tactic we hear now is about creating an overload on one side to find a spare man or whatever, right? When you have a red card, you naturally have a spare man. And in modern football, now that becomes even more of an advantage. So then now, how do we in good faith analyze them? Because what we're going to start to analyze referees, can it become that big of a factor? And the thing is, I truly don't want this to be like Arsenal fan cry wolf, because I agree. I think it should have been a red card from the jump. I totally agree with that. I didn't really have problems with that. I just had problems with the so-called high intervention and they intervened there. But how do you move forward in good faith from there? Because I can't lie way running. I do feel gaslit, boy. I do feel like I'm going mad to some extent. You know?
Bro, I am. I don't know how else to refute anything you're saying because it just happens every week. Like every week there is something, and every week there is like the I don't know how to describe this here, boy. Like, but like we start at a point, and then we get closer, and then further away, and then closer and further
Yeah,
away, and we never get to the correct, like the correct standard. We
yeah,
always floating around China. It's like throwing out like we're throwing dart at a dartboard in the dark. Like while it's spinning around. Like how you going? We expect to hit. We
yeah,
just it is wherever it land. And like the Tosin one, I think like obviously people could say what they want about it was somebody was close to him and whatever. Like I think it was a red. I truly think it was a
yeah,
red. And I don't know. When I saw it was yellow, I was like, well, maybe because this is a big game, they don't want to have a red card early in the game, and like I don't know, boy. Sometimes I just watch it and be like, wait, boy, there's really every game is ref differently, and that's the problem. Every
yeah,
game should be ref at the same level throughout. There should be no type of preferential treatment of teams or games or something, that being broadcast or whatever. I think it's real crazy sometimes, boy, because as you say, it does feel like you're being gaslit sometimes. You just watch it and you just be like, okay, well, that was a penalty. And then the next one, but that was a penalty, how that's not a penalty? And then you'll see them give the penalty the next time. And you're like, but
but how
what,
that one
what?
was the pen?
So we were supposed to have 3 pens, but we had 2 pens. But we agree we should have had 3 pens, which
And,
is I just don't get it. I just don't get it sometimes.
and next factor in this way, Brandon, and I know like we doesn't want to, at least on the pod, casual talk is probably something else, but we doesn't want to go down this whole conspiracy theory route and thing, But like, the Premier League has set this standard of like if you pledge allegiance to the team, referee their games, So like for example, Charles Gillett, he's a Liverpool fan, he doesn't referee Liverpool games, right? Which I think is fair. I think that's right. But then now, how in good faith do you allow him to be part of the refereeing teams of their rivals, literally leading up to games versus them? And he is now the one responsible for telling the VAR, hey, go and look at the screen, we think you need to review the decision. I don't know. The silly thing is that whether you want to believe that there's something underlying or not, they give you enough gas for these theories for you to feel like there might be substance behind it. Because at some point, there is no smoke without fire. Even simple thing as that game was the one game this whole weekend that Howard would happen to be at. And they knew
Yeah,
exactly
that
where
was
he
real
was.
funny. That was real funny.
And at the same time, the VAR decision going on, he has his hand to the earpiece, talking it. And I was like, but like, you're giving people energy for these things. And now that brings me back to something else I said, where is that like, I truly do believe the Premier League has seized on the idea that they know that because referees generate so much online discourse, that they will do everything to include them as part of the entertainment factor. And so then now, whether or not he was involved, no, that man could have been listening to Taylor Swift for all we know, man. That man could have been listening to that voice, not from his wife, for all we know. But they add it in to the broadcast because they know you get 10 more things online to talk about.
Yeah, it was
And
kind of coincidental that they showed him talking on the earpiece. That was I find it was real funny. Like I didn't even know he was there, and when I saw him, I was like,
me
wow, this
either.
is this is like this is funny.
And the thing is, why it is Sky Sports who doing this, who they would know if he's there. They literally have a show with this man. And like you would have think that like if he going and be there, he'd have let him know, hey, well, I don't want to be out there. Don't
Well, I
partly
saw
this
that
thing.
decision live, so
Yeah.
I was there when it happened.
Jeez, why? And it's like with anybody who wants to believe things like their club might be ref differently or there's an inherent bias or whatever, I think like a, a trustworthy organization would do more to remove themselves from any form of conflict here. You know, and this is without going into the whole thing that like city owners have organized for referees to go across there and ref for them, and then they come back and get the ref city games. Like like if you tell somebody stuff to somebody in NBA, they'll be very confused, And the kind of stuff that is gets swept under the rug and you just have to accept, you know? And in a week where we should talk about and I hopefully remember we do remember to talk about this, is that like in a week where a foreigner becomes the manager of the England national team, you know, and foreign managers are the bedrock of this league, and foreign players are the face of this league. We still don't use foreign refs, and the only reason for that to me could be pride above everything else. Because then now they would have to admit that they getting it wrong. And the proof is really putting that they're getting it wrong. The World Cup does come, and if they get one person to get called up to go to the World Cup, there's be plenty, boy, Salik. We've had World Cups with no English referees. The creators of the game don't have English
Great,
referees.
great World Cups at that too, huh?
Yeah, and it says something. You know, I don't want us to stay on these things, but like, it's like every time we try to get around them, they make sure and do something and come back in it. By chance, you had listened to any part of Gvardiol's press conference,
Yeah, I did. I saw it. Yeah.
and like they posted over under for how VAR has benefited or taken away from you, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal sits at the third most affected negatively with -6. You see how much Wolves have?
-20.
-20, boy. And it's like, boy, you really good. And the next thing is like, ever since I started to take over, Arsenal have 17 red cards. The nearest one was, in terms of the big six clubs, I can't remember, the nearest one was something like 10. And it's like, do you really believe that Arsenal have made 17 instances where these have to be red carded, boy?
Well,
No.
that was actually my next point. Because I think I actually think I'll have an issue, bro. I don't know if you feel that way, but I think I'll have an issue. I really
Well,
think
the irony is, boy, is that like of that 17, 3 come this season, 1 come last year. The season before that we had none. So like it seemed like we was getting a handle on it.
It had a year. Well, it had 6 red cards, I think, or 8 red cards.
That was.
I think that was the invincible season. I think I had 6 or 8.
And it's like, you know, we just like to see in this football thing, my brad, is that things is balanced out eventually, boy. But I just watched some of these 50-50s where, you know, like, take this weekend, you know, you thought, you just said that you think that Tossin one was a red, right? But you get the flip of the coin, and he get the yellow. We get the flip of the coin, we get the red. And it's like, I was trying to find, like, where's our flip of the coin moments that is going with fever, boy? You know? And there's not to say that they don't ever happen, right? Again, I will fully admit, I think California was lucky not to get set up versus Leicester, right? But in that very same game, Oliver Skip was lucky not to get set up. So it come like even in the game that we do benefit, it is just cancelled out by somebody else and it just come back down to 0. And then you can watch other teams, specifically your rivals, because you watch them like a hawk. And you see that the 50-50s could go in their favor. And you just be like...
Not in the Chelsea Liverpool game, though. I thought of that.
Yeah. They're not dead. But, like, when we watch, you know, some of these things that City would get, like the trust outside enough, you know, like, we still see nobody else get set off outside of Arsenal players for the second yellow for kicking away the ball. Even in the Chelsea game, we see some stripping this way. I try to remember who it was. Kicked the ball like 3 times into Darwin.
Yeah, it was Caicedo. That was real funny. That was real funny.
I didn't even get carded and it's like, bro, what? Nobody get carded. And it's like... Yeah.
So was I get carded for kicking away the ball, though? Like he launched the ball and get a card. Finally got a card for kicking away the ball. He always kicking away the ball.
But moving
but John, honestly though, I feel like we need to like have a serious conversation about this before we move on, because this is the third time, right? Like this is the third time it's happening this season. And whether anybody likes it or not, these are players that Arteta trusts, and these are some of the cornerstones of the team as presently constructed, right? And I think it was very, 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 very horrible that Saliba even thought about taking him down, because the ramifications going forward are so bad. And going back to the right red card, I think he should have been sent off his first challenge, and then he got away with it, and then he gave it away and got sent off. Trossard was very similar. I don't the before he kicked away the ball, the barge in the back was yellow card worthy. I think there's something there's something there that, because I remember last season I talked about our indiscipline problem. I think you'll have a little bit of that this season, because it's always difficult when teams are coming at you, because every team is gonna come at you. And I just think the response, especially for the three red cards, I don't think it was good. And you're not gonna win games with 10 men.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I think we can agree that teams play all differently. I think we can
yeah,
all agree on that. But
yeah, yeah,
you'll have to be like, okay, well, forget the letter of the law. We have to play them and beat them. Like,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I think there's too much. There was too much on the line in this game. Looking at how the weekend panned out, because it seems like it is a missed opportunity. You all have fallen behind a while, and if you lose to Liverpool next week, that's even further behind. You know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't think it was. This has been constant throughout the entire season. And the 3 games that you all got the red cards, and the three points that you all have dropped is, I think, is now for 7 points you all have dropped from those 3 red cards.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Correct.
not that's not gonna that not gonna work. That's not
No,
gonna
no, no.
work.
I look. I totally agree with what you're saying, man. And the thing is, like, I do know that we have a high emotional component to what we do, and there's both the good and the bad side, to it, right? Like, we've seen the bad being manifested here, where lack of composure in some moments, right? Especially like the Trossard one. Even Rice had kind of was losing his head that game as well, and I think to get from Saliba, I can't feel like the most like unexpected person. 'Cause he's always feel like he's super calm, and that's probably an indictment of kind of way it is right now that these guys need to remove themselves from these situations. Because whether we like it or not, the 50-50s, they not going in our favor. And so then now you kind of need to remove yourself from being in the situation of being in a 50-50 now. There is a question of, is that right? But then the reality is it just is what it is. And you had to get on with it. Whether for whatever factor it is, whether it's internal or external, those decisions not going for us. We're not getting away with getting those millimeters wrong. So we had to be better. We had to be better. And like I said, there is longer term ramifications. Um, Obviously, Saliba is going to miss the Liverpool game. And I saw online that they are considering appealing it. Truthfully, I have no idea what will come out of it. Because, I mean, they could cite the tossing
Next
one.
next thing you know, he get 3 games instead of one
Well, I don't think
from
it's
the.
one, though. Is it one? I don't
I
think
think
it's
it's
one.
one. I think our last man is one. I saw somebody say that.
Okay. Well, then that is so bad. I mean, it's still Liverpool,
It's still
right?
the Liverpool game though.
No, 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 yeah. And I mean, to be fair, once Timber is fit, then another whatever. Obviously, I prefer Saliba. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't, but as long as Timber is fit, then I think it'll be fine. Cause then
Yeah,
we
but
go
we're gonna
White.
play Timber.
We'll play right back and
And
put
who you
White
playing
center back.
with nah, man.
Or we'll put Timber center and put White right back. But like between the two of them, one of them will play, and I think that they'll be fine. I mean, like on that side is obviously well. Actually, I have no idea who has that between Darwin and Gakpo. It's whoever perform better against. I think it's Leipzig they played in midweek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is obviously ramifications. I mean, the more concerning thing is that Arsenal have both self-inflicted and otherwise gone through a lot this season already with the hard fixtures, with the injuries, and obviously the suspensions. We come up again against Liverpool, where Saka missing a game is obviously very rare. It seems like Odegaard won't be ready for it, but as I was saying last week that this week he expected to be back in training, and when I think about when we played Liverpool earlier this year, it kind of was coming in similar circumstances where the feeling was a bit low and the team had galvanized together to put together what was one of our best performances last season. And I trust them to do that again. And more than anything else, and you could tell me this is misguided a lot, which is perfectly fine. But as long as like Saka is fit to play, then I know we always have a chance against them. You know, and obviously, him missing is a big one. I think the way that Tepa Abo on this, I think Arteta got a lot wrong on the day. The way he tried to make up for his absence was wrong, and we obviously got punished for it. 48 of team set piece get undone by a great set piece by Bournemouth. Um,
And Raya had a stinker, by the way.
Dog, I don't think dog. I don't know if you know he got engaged the night before, I feel like he stayed up too late or something celebrating
Never.
because
Something was
I don't
wrong.
know,
He was terrible that day. The penalty was terrible. Magaball was terrible.
But hey, it is what it is. What it happened, and I mean, the good thing is, we play in very soon right after. We play Shakhtar next tomorrow. On the day of recording. It'll be this evening by the time you guys hear this, and if we put things right, cool. Let me try and blitz through some stuff before we go to the UCL. I really did not mean for me to spend more time on this game than we had spent on the Liverpool Chelsea
You know
game,
how it
but
does go with Arsenal, but you know how it does go.
sadly I do. I was supposed to tell you something else, carry over. Oh gosh. Whatever. If you come back to me, I'll tell you. Next up, man. Actually, we talked about City. I can't bring up City. We talked about Wolves earlier. What City versus Wolves, obviously, in Patrick's words, they are the best team in the world at grinding at you until they get it at the end. While there was some controversy, I don't really have a problem with the goal being allowed. But the wider point I want to talk to you about is ever since the Arsenal game, Haaland hasn't scored in the league. Now, people are running to say it has to be Rodri's absence, but I think like you hinted at this last part, and I have felt the same way. In fact, to the point that I am not even joking, I took him out of my FPL this weekend when I saw when I saw that KDB was not going to play this weekend. And it's because I think the team is lacking the ability to get the ball to him in the dangerous areas. Now, he did have one moment where he should have done better, but he didn't even get his shot off. And I think, again, that is more indicted because when we watch the first 5 games of the season, sorry, four games leading up to the Arsenal game, when KDB played in all, he had over 4 shots in every game. He is yet to have more than 2 shots a game since KDB is out. Would you be worried about this? I mean, the thing is, KDB should be back just now, right? But if you tell him a squad with Bernardo, Toku, Savio, Grealish, Foden, go down the road, they can't seem to service the ball without KDB. I think, especially given KDB fitness over the last 2 years, I think that would be a little bit of a concern.
Well, it simply looks to me like KDB and Haaland, they're gonna win us the game. No
Yeah.
KDB, everybody else win the game. Haaland, you just stay there. You just look nice. You can tie your hair every 5 minutes. If you put a ball into the box, try and get your head on it, you might score. Like bro, Gvardiol scoring screamers.
Yeah, no, first of
They
all,
winning.
that's very unnecessary, because it's when you want to
Hey,
what he doing this
John.
too.
By the way, before I say anything, we do this all the time, and we do it banterously and whatever. We're calling that they spent 100 million on that fella. He looks like 100 million defender. By the way,
What do you mean, dog? The man look like 100 midfielder winger at this point, dog, because
the
again, he is cutting in on his
bro, why
right
does he
foot.
why does he score his goals with his weak foot? Why?
And well, to be fair, was the one against Newcastle with his right foot? It was in
The
the
one he cut
box.
back?
The one
Yeah,
that was his right foot.
yeah, his right
Okay.
foot there.
But like, dog, he's doing these things in the league. He's doing these things. Dog, he did it in the Champions League versus Madrid. Like, bruh, he don't score normal goals. Dog. Even the one that he scored against was it Forest? I was say a Forest or Fulham when he running last. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, dog. It's ridiculous, way. And I mean, hey, when Haaland can't get goals, you talk about it when you're SCT to step up and score. Well, dog, hey, okay. The left back going that video on then so be it. So you wouldn't be worried about the overall creativity of the team then?
No, because eventually Haaland can't not score forever. And
Correct,
then
yeah.
there will come a point where the both things will drop enough and they cross and it just go back up in the other direction. Haaland will eventually bro, they play Southampton next.
Yeah, well, that one is a bunker. Like,
You get a hat trick. You get a hat
yeah,
trick
no,
against
that's
Southampton.
a good one. That is definitely a good one. I mean, like,
Might
even
get two
after
pens all
that,
kind of thing.
and like even after that, I don't even know when they don't have a hard run at any point. Like, there is no point in this where I feel like they have difficult, like 3-4 fixtures in their row.
Did they play
What?
when did they play Spurs?
Um, the 23rd of November.
Okay, that's about a month from now. Okay, nice.
Yeah, well, to be fair, if you want a hard-ish run, They're going away to Brighton. Not after the next 2 game weeks. They go away to Brighton or then the international break. Then they host Spurs, return at the international break. Go away to Liverpool, host Forest, go to Palace, and then host Man United, and
Yeah, well,
then go away to Villa. That's one of the
Palace is
hardest it gets to.
easy 3 points these days. So
Yeah, really and truly. I mean, and they lost the game this evening, huh?
they had lost today too.
Yeah, though, like, and a Chris Wood goal. Hey, no, we got Forest on Leicester, though. I really didn't think that they would have started the season as strongly as they did, but they did.
Mhm.
And credit to them. Cool. Keep with Manchester. United pick up points. And it is not the same fashion, but the same result as last year. At home to Brentford, they was losing. I came from behind to win 2-1. They didn't have Scott McTominay to do this year, but they had Rasmus Højlund to do it. Now, Rashford did get assist, but unfortunately for Adam, he did not have a goal. So he has 2 games remaining in order to get
To get the
five
five, yeah.
goals. So if you see how that goes. But do you think this is a turning point for Manchester United, Brandon?
We will never know until next week.
We'll never know.
Tune in next time kind of thing.
But
You know?
do you think that the next game is probably one of the most ones that is one of the few Europa League fixtures I think I will definitely want to watch.
Oh, does he? They play in
They
Fenerbahce?
played Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce.
Okay, yeah. That's must see TV. That's must see TV.
That is must see TV.
Fred about to lock up the man in midfield.
Correct. Hey, but credit to his due. A nice little flick by Bruno for Højlund, who had a really nice finish. I think he had a really good game. I thought Rashford had a real rounded performance.
I thought Rashford was good though. I thought Rashford had a good game. I thought the whole attack had a good game, to be fair. Like the attack was they were pumping, but it's just eventually they broke them down.
If Thomas Frank wanted the job, then he should have done.
That was a terrible audition, bro.
That was a terrible audition. Yeah, Arsenal when next Saturday was playing Spurs. Well, Spurs this weekend won 4-1 as West Ham continue to just sink lower and lower and lower and lower.
We had
Big up my dog Virgil.
Big up Virgil. Six
right
outside.
Right
outside the top 6.
Nah, man, it's poor. And apparently we live in a day and age where people question if somebody gets slapped with a red card.
Yeah, boy. Kudus was a little foolish for that, though.
Yeah, dog.
Twice, He had 2 men,
Twice.
I don't know why he thought he was to be honest.
That's crazy.
But they're looking real bad, bro. Like real bad.
Nah, they're looking bad. And
I mean, like, real bad.
It looks super disjointed, boy. Like, it had a point where it looked like Spurs could have scored 5-6. It was that bad. Yeah. But Son came back in, scored for the second game this season. And what was his third goal? He obviously forced a goal as well. So, Spurs hoping to not do a Brighton.
Hook Madison and score 4, bro.
But see what I think, Madison had was like one of the players with the most chances created this weekend. And he only played a half. But yes, he did hook Madison.
Bro, that's to tell you how stats is deceive you. Like, correct. Look how it don't matter what he was creating, it matter what they score. Because they played really well. They did play
really well. Another team that I just want to mention real quickly is Brighton. And somebody who's had a really strong start to the season is Danny Welbeck.
Dog.
Yeah, somebody I have a lot of love for him. And the person who assisted his goal, which was a nice little pass, but had a really strong game, was Jorginho Ruta. He was on a lot of people's list to flop, but he's been really, really good ever since he came back in the team. Obviously, he was key in the comeback last week, but to say, and I mean, right now, I kind of look at like outside of the Chelsea game, Brighton have had a strong start to the season. They currently sit 5th. And again, outside the Chelsea game, where they forgot what it was to defend I got chance, they have started really well. And lastly would be Villa, who came from behind after Raul Jimenez scored from a goal kick. But he came from behind to win 3-1. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps up the Prem stuff. Around the leagues, Atletico remains unbeaten and Real Madrid also win. However, there is news coming out of the camp that the way that... Also, did you know that Neymar returned the football today, boy?
I saw the pictures. I didn't even know that.
I won't lie. It did warm my heart a little bit, boy. It did warm my heart. I mean, it wasn't a 5-4 game, but yeah. Yeah. news is coming out that apparently the way that Jude Bellingham has been used this season will now be discontinued, and he will go back to be playing at the top of a midfield diamond.
Okay.
Is it? I just feel like it's more a case of they take way too long to get back to that conclusion.
Trying to
Now,
fit all
well,
them players together. You just had to try something new.
here's the problem though. They go in and play split strikers, right? And the point of split strikers is we split across the field, but they can't be split on the left side.
On the left side, yeah, true. True. No, but if you put Mbappe on the right, I think that might work, and leave them and leave
I
Vinicius on the left.
genuinely think he does, bro. Are people forgetting like how it is France won the World Cup in 2018? He
Yeah.
was on the right. He was on the right side of like what ended up being a 2-1 top. Staying in La Liga because he did send him a lot of stuff. Sean said to mention Diego Martinez was really solid. And he also wanted to mention that Pedri was brilliant again in a double pivot. I mean, like something that Daniel kept saying is like, he don't really see where Pedri got fit in his team. He don't see where Pedri got fit in his team. He don't see where Pedri is going to fit in his team. Well, he is playing deeper and has been actually excelling so far this season. And on top of excelling, unlike Danny Olmo, he stay fit and continues to stay fit and play for them.
Well, John, you know what has made all of this possible. You know what has made everything click for Barca this season. Like you know the answer, right?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I thought he was going to say Rafinha. What?
No, Frankie De Jong.
Oh, yeah.
That has been the key to them being so good. No, I mean real serious, because remember
yeah.
Daniel's whole thing was that he thought Frankie was gonna stay.
Yeah.
And he thought Pedri would have been the collateral damage. But it seems that Frankie is not. I don't know if he has any plans, bro. If I'm being honest with you, because they're playing so well, bro. My God,
Yeah.
Lewandowski's on fire. Your defense is terrifying.
And I mean, like, Barca obviously running riot, right? And I mean, like, it's such a testament to. I think, like, we all do this, because he does have a tendency to go missing in big games, but like, Lewa does get a fair share of criticism, but he's been absolutely on it this season. And to be fair, the longest undefeated streak in La Liga history is on the potential of being matched the next match day by Real Madrid. And they are having the Clasico next week when they play Barca. So that definitely we want to watch. He also said to mention Casado has gone under the radar this season. A huge key to the success. Yet again, handle a fair amount of defensive work in midfield and broke up play, well allowing Pedri to drift forward. He said, his exact words was Lamine and Rafinha, no explanation needed, create again. And he said that, also mentioned the fact that Gavi has returned. And I can't lie, I don't know if you saw the clips of it, but when Gavi was warming up, the whole stadium erupted. Like, it really is different when it's one of your own, and they come back from something like that. Cool.
Is it that he's back though? Because that's huge for Barca. Like I didn't even know he was going to be back so soon. I thought for some reason I thought he would be out longer.
And I mean, like when you look at it, right? We look at Casado, who has started most games so far this season for Barca. Pedri, obviously, wants to come back in. They have Flick has a problem on his hands there. A good problem that, but a problem to try and solve it.
But you don't think he navigates and all them players really well, boy? I find he getting the best out of most of them, like everything I've been seeing so far from Barca. I've been super impressed, bro.
You was one of them who didn't like Rafinha that much, right? And you're seeing how much he's excelling. And I mean, like, a lot of that has to be credited to the coach and the way that he set them up to maximize his qualities,
Flick have that man balling right now, though. Like that, most of those players right now, they're playing their best football they've ever played for Barcelona in this season. Like this is real good. Like, to be honest with you.
You know what I didn't see? Did Szczesny start? Oh, he did not.
No, I don't think so.
Soon, though. Soon. And I'll be there for the first clag in a few weeks. In other news, Napoli's undefeated and only conceded twice so far this season.
One game a week, Conte.
One game a week, Conte. You can't beat the one game a week, Conte. Also in Serie A, I don't know if you saw Lautaro's goal to win against Roma, but it was an absolute belter from the top of the box. On a counter from Roma's corner, from a caught and Roma's corner, which is always, a very sour one to concede. In the Bundesliga, I nearly think anything that interesting this one.
Kane scored 3.
Yeah, Kane scored 3. I know that. Leverkusen won 2-1 against high flying Frankfurt. Mamouche did score. Charlie Bell, this one, but Boniface got the winner in the end. Amidst a week when Boniface and Nigeria got forgotten in the airport, which was.
And then he got into an accident.
And then he got into the accident. Yeah, that's really rough. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Before we go into doing some Champions League predictions, Brandon, what is your thoughts on Tommy Tuchel taking over the English national team?
What an excellent appointment. They might call me a lot of slurs and whatever, the people who don't agree. But I think that's a great appointment, bro. I think I firmly believe that England should be favorites to win the next few tournaments if he stays. I can't tell you how excited I am to see how he will play, because he's so much potential for that team with Tuchel. I don't think there was a better candidate, if I'm being honest with you. I would have not gone for Eddie Howe. Too difficult to get. I would have not gone for Potter. I would have not gone for, I don't know, Craig Shakespeare. I don't know. We can't put that the England manager. I don't know.
Tim Sherwood, buddy.
Nah. But yeah,
What's your thoughts on people who feel like, it should have been an English person, though?
Bro, it's like, I understand why people say that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you don't have good English managers. Like, you're probably the only big nation that does not produce good English managers. It's just the truth,
Good. Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah. So I totally agree. I mean, like, around this time, maybe a little later last year, we spoke about, like, identity and culture within a nation and their philosophy and stuff like that. And, like, I think that is part of the reason why, and I don't want to take anything away from Del Fonte and Spain's, and Spain's accomplishments, right? But, like, due to the cultural differences throughout the ranks of Spanish football, is why it allows for somebody to go from the under-23s and succeed at the national team level. There isn't, like, these wide-scale changes. It's more about, like, just adding the next thing to the wheel that is required to keep it going along. And we see it there, we see it in Germany, we see it even to some extent with France, you see it with Italy as well. You know what nations we call it here? We call it nations that we've all seen do well at the international level over the last decade or two. And it's unfortunate where England are. In terms of, yes, they're a big nation, but the truth is the coaches aren't up to scratch. And it goes out in terms of where do the English managers be in the pyramid? They aren't at the title contender level. They aren't even at the Champions League contender level. They aren't at the cup contestant level. That's just where it is. And if I do watch this England team, and this is sound kind of rude, but Harry Kane aside, I do see personalities there that are ready to take on knockout football for all that it is, and it just needs to be positioned well. And unfortunately, I don't trust any English manager to do it. But you know who I do trust? Champions League winning manager, 2-time finalist maker, Tommy Tuchel. And we'll see how it goes. He doesn't actually have that much sessions with him ahead of it, honestly, because the World Cup is not next year, but the year after. And he only takes over fully from January. So we'll see how he does, But as we see with his time at Chelsea, he doesn't need much time to get things going and get some success on the board. Cool. Champions League now. I'm going to call the fixture here to tell what you think. AC Milan holds Club Bruges.
I'll go 2-0 to Milan.
I'm going to go 2-1 to AC Milan. And they're going to make it very
They're playing in San Siro?
Yes, they are playing in San Siro.
2-0.
Bruges starting tournament pretty good, though. But as you
see how they win at some point.
Monaco hosts Red Star Belgrade.
Monaco playing really well, I'll give Monaco. I'll go 3-0 to Monaco.
I will also go Monaco. Arsenal hosts Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm going to go for the Arsenal one.
Yeah, I'll go for the 2-1 on the Arsenal.
Then we have Villa hosting Bologna.
Villa might win about 4. Given
Yeah,
4 to Villa.
yeah. Then we have Girona hosting Slovana Bratislava.
Oof. 3-1 to Girona.
Yeah, I also have Girona. And then we have Juve hosting Stuttgart. I'll go for
Would that
Juve
be a good
win.
game, you know?
It would be a good game. Despite the fact that Stuttgart had lost 4-0.
3-3. I'm going 3-3. A draw.
Ooh, big ones. Then we have PSG hosting PSV Eindhoven. I'm gonna be real boring here apparently. Wait, I can't keep going for the home teams, but
I'm going for the PSV upsets.
whoo! Now I'll go for PSG to get a second win so far.
De Jong to punish PSG.
Then we have Real versus Dortmund, and honestly,
We're not gonna skip it this week.
we're not skipping it this week. And honestly, if Arsenal wasn't playing, I mean, to be fair, I would have the 2 games on side to side. But like, I definitely do want to watch this as it is a rematch of the Champions League final. But yeah, I can't see Real not winning 2 in a row. I'll go Real.
I'll go Real. I'm going now. 3-2 though.
Then next up we have Sturm Graz versus Sporting.
You gonna go Sturm Graz?
I am going Sturm Graz.
I go in Sporting. Sporting again. That's 3-win. Bucharest hat trick. Sturm Graz can't get wrecked.
Next up we have Brest versus Leipzig. Leverkusen, sorry.
I'll go for a draw, actually.
I'll go for a draw as well. Then we have Atalanta versus Celtic, and I'll go Atalanta.
Where they playing?
At Atalanta. If it was,
Atalanta going to win.
yeah. Then we have Atletico Madrid versus Lille.
I'll give Atletico. They'll actually win this one.
I'll go for a draw here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have, actually not, leave that one for last. Then we have Young Boys versus Inter.
No, Inter gonna win, for sure. Not even think about twice.
Salzburg versus Dynamo Zagreb.
Zagreb.
Nah, see, man, that's the first unanimous away win we have. All I feel is going to be led up here by RB Leipzig versus Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
That'll be a high scoring game though. I'll go in.
It will be a high scoring game.
5-3.
5-3.
5-3 to Liverpool.
There we go in Man City versus Spartak Prague. Another 7-0.
City.
Foden hat trick.
City.
Benfica versus Feyenoord.
Oh, draw.
No, I mean Benfica win though. They started the Champions League
Draw,
campaign so good though.
Nah, they really did, but they're going to draw.
And then lastly, is the Hansi Flick Lewandowski derby. Barca versus Bayern.
It is the history of the Barcelona.
Yo, Barca have a terrible record versus Bayern.
Yeah, now about Bayern, Bayern beat them, man.
Bayern doing?
Nah, just kidding, bro. Flick gone kill company, bro. I'm gonna roll over Bayern, bro.
I think
bro,
so too.
Bro, just hear me out.
5-0
to Barcelona. Lewandowski gone rip them apart.
I'm gonna go for 2-1 to Barca. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think like
you really don't think so?
Just because I think like when Lewandowski included, right? He was part of this team that got annihilated like 3-0 twice under Xavi. And like when teams overcoming that boogie over some of these teams, sometimes they don't fully go all the way that you should expect them to. And so I think they will win. But I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
And there will be another big game in which company would fail to win. Shock horror. And yeah, guys, I think that's it. I think we can wrap up there. Thank you guys so much for being here. We do apologize for being late. Even now, I am feeling already tired. I'm sorry that's already bothered with. But nobody can tell me after I lost with Doc. That was my main goal in doing this weekend. I was saying, in fact, I am feeling so tired. I need to go and see a doctor about this. Seriously, it's really bad. In fact, I didn't even joke. It's like I was honestly contemplating if I possibly might have diabetes. Just because I was eating sugar, or rather, like,
That's not how that works.
I know why, but like I was feeling real tired. I mean, now part of it because I have terrible sleeping habits. And it's not on purpose though. It's like we're done here. I'll go and lie down, and I'll turn on toss till 11 o'clock or something. But so it is go. Anyways, all I don't want to hear that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll catch you guys next time. See you soon. Take it easy later.